Blondel de Nesle, either Jean I of Nesle or his son Jean II of Nesle, was a French trouvère. The name Blondel de Nesle is attached to 24 or 25 courtly songs. He was identified in 1942 by Holger Dyggve as Jean II of Nesle, who was nicknamed Blondel for his long blonde hair. He married at the time of his father's death in 1202, and that same year went on the Fourth Crusade. He later fought in the Albigensian Crusade. However, in 1994, even Lepage suggested that the poet may have been Jean I, father of Jean II, who was Lord of Nesle from 1180 to 1202. This Jean took part in the Third Crusade, which may explain the subsequent legend linking him with King Richard I of England. If the works are correctly identified and dated, he was a significant influence on his European contemporaries, who made much use of his melodies. His works are fairly conventional, and several have been recorded in modern times. Legend. By 1260, Blondel's name had become attached to a legend in the highly fictionalized JERRYE and Ménestrel de Reims. This claimed that, after King Richard of England was arrested and held for ransom in 1192, he was found by the minstrel Blondel, whom he saw from his window, and to whom he sang a verse of a song they both knew. Later versions of the story related that Blondel went from castle to castle, singing a particular song that only he and Richard knew, and that the imprisoned Richard replied with the second verse, thus identifying where he was imprisoned. Then, Blondel either aided the king's escape or reported his position back to his friends. Blondel finally found Richard at Ernstein. In fact, there was no mystery about Richard's location, which was widely publicized by his ransomers. Blondel is a common surname on the Channel Island of Guernsey. It is recorded that King Richard granted a fief on the island to a vassal named Blondel, but it remains uncertain as to whether this has any connection with the legend, or whether the legend has any connection with the known trouvère. Modern versions. The legend of Blondel did not achieve great popularity in the Middle Ages, but was taken up in the late 18th century. It was the basis of André-Ernest Modeste Grétry's opera Richard Coeur de Lion. In 1822, Eleanor Anne Porden used the legend in her epic poem Coeur de Lion. In her version, Blondel is really Richard's wife, Berengaria of Navarre, in disguise. A poem by Johann Gabriel Seidel titled Blondel's Lied was set to music by Robert Schumann. Throughout the 19th century, the legend became a key component in the mythology surrounding Richard. Some later 20th century novelists, such as Nora Lofts in The Lute Player, placed a homosexual interpretation on his supposed relationship with the king. In the 1962-63 ITV British television series Richard the Lionheart, Blondel was a semi-regular character, played by Ian Gregory. The English acoustic band of the early 1970s, Amazing Blondel, was named after Blondel. The legend inspired Blondel, a 1983 musical by Stephen Oliver and Tim Rice. The play, a comedic rock opera, is set during the period of the Third Crusade. Blondel is portrayed as a frustrated artist, seeking fame as a composer and performer, even as he searches for his imprisoned money. Rice collaborated with director Patrick Wilde to revive the show at the Pleasance Theatre in London in 2006. Bibliography. In 1862, Prosper Tarbé published an edition including 34 songs attributed to Blondel. JERRYE ROY KLOTZ MD and Ménestrel de Reims. Edition Nathalie's de Whaley.